Cancer, the moon is in Taurus. Yeah, she's exalted in Taurus. And she is asking you, are you doing things that are worth your time? Do they fill up your cups? Do they feel secure? Or is it something that you've created a false sense of security around? And if you have, stay tuned to find out how to work with these energies. Not to fear, this is the time where Luna can get you secure. But before we jump into that, for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really is just fantastic, Cancer. And it keeps us grounded. Ooh, like real grounded. And for those of you who are new, welcome to the Chariot Friends. Justin here, and know that when you're coming across this video, you're in sync with the moon, and she loves that. And this is also for those of you who have Cancer in your placement. Sun, moon, rising, Venus, wherever, Cancer, this one's for you. And I do tarot card spreads based upon our ruler here, the good old moon. And I'll talk about what sign she's in, what phase she's in, when she's going void of course, all of those lunar shenanigans. And just so y'all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one. So take what fits into your story, discard the rest, and everything will be dope, Cancer. Now, let's jump into it. And we got just that time, Cancer. It's a special one. We're at the last quarter phase here, one of the major lunar phases of the cycle. You have the new moon, fourth quarter, full moon, and last quarter. So, well, before we jump into that, as you see, I'm always excited to do these chart readings. But that's what I do. When we get to these major phases, that's why we're here. I like to pull up a chart because I feel like it's nice to have just a visual to see what's going on in the sky. But even better, I would say, if you can get out there, if you have a clear view of the sky, where I moved at now, I love Washington, but it's so overcast over here, and I do not see anything. It's different from Florida. I got daily doses of Luna. It's fine. But if you can get daily doses of Luna, get out there. Go see them stars. Go check out Venus. Just go look at the stuff. So, but before we jump into all these things, let's get a little bit serious here, considering the day. Depending on when you're watching this, happy Saturn Day. Saturn's associated with Saturdays. And this is a time to no more laughter. No more laughter, no more fun. No, this is a time to get things down to business. If you've been putting stuff off this week, maybe you've got some paperwork that's needing your attention. Maybe you got some bills that's needing to get taken care of. Maybe you have some housework, some things that maybe you got a, sidebar. Maybe you have poltergeists in your house. It's become this running joke. We've been finding little, puddles of water, and there's nothing leaking. I've made sure of that, and no one's, throwing water all over the place. So I'm trying to figure out where this is coming from. Saturn can deal with land. So tend to your land. See what's going on. Great for gardening, but great for meditation. This could be great for talking with elders. Possibly here, Saturn, Grandpa. Saturn, that's a nickname I'm giving Saturn now, Grandpa. But he is associated with the elderly. And so this could be, maybe you're doing some kind of community work Mercury's getting retrograde in about a week, so I've just kind of given up on whole sentences. But this could be a great time to get your sentences together too. Saturn is great for that. Even for the Saturn hours, those can be times where if you just happen to notice you're on a Saturn hour, and there's some apps and you have websites that can check this stuff, you can just see where, I've been kind of procrastinating here. Let me get down to business now. Saturn can help you get back on track. So, use the malefics to your advantage. So just some things to think about with there. But be kind to yourself. Saturn is in Pisces. But be aware. Now, let's talk about this lovely phase that's happening here, because on the 27th, the moon is, first she's going to be entering Taurus at 10:22 a.m., and that's going to be Pacific time. She's going to be forming about 4 aspects of it, so it might be a kind of busy day or busy couple of days emotionally with the aspects that she's forming. And keep in mind too, I just since I've been doing a little bit of, not a little bit, I've been doing a lot of aggressive reading with this book, Ancient Astrology by Demetra George. It is fantastic. If you're bibliomania like I do, I would definitely recommend it. And if you're into astrology and want to learn stuff, but since reading that, I've been resonating more with just kind of working with just the seven traditional planets: Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. I'm not ignoring the outer planets, but it's just for like chart sake and things. It's been resonating more. So that's when I'm doing the void of course time from, and where I'm basing things off of is going to be based off of these outer planets here, or the traditional planets. So just something to keep in mind of when we talk about this. But now the moon is going to be at having that last quarter phase. That's going to be happening at about 7:52 p.m. and again, that's Pacific time, and that is when, let's go ahead and get my handy drawer out here. That's when the regal sunshine, again, Leo sun, and the lovely moon here, queen of the night, exalted in the pastures, in the luscious pastures that is Taurus. This is when they form a square. And considering that both of them are in such strong places right now, this is a time to look at what is not making you feel as strong. I would say with this. This could be one way of looking at this. The moon in Taurus is looking at what you value, what makes you feel secure. And I would say with the sun in Leo, this is looking at maybe where we've been playing a part. Maybe, the moon, I feel Taurus energy can be one that will do something even if it doesn't enjoy it, but it provides that sense of security, even if it doesn't light up its heart. But now when you have the sun here and the moon here having this conversation, there's a need to take action. There's an adjustment that's needing to be made, because the square, the aspect that's happening between them, that's when the planets are 90 degrees apart. It's related to Mars, so there's energy behind it. Again, actions need to be taken. There may be some friction that you're feeling, some frustrations that may be going on there. I would say this is just as a basic example. This could be where, maybe you're thinking about your job. Maybe you haven't been feeling as fulfilled as of late. It's not that you necessarily need to quit, but maybe one thing you could think is, how can I bring in more heart, bring in more passion back in what am I doing? And maybe give that a try for a while. Now, if there's something that, things don't change, then maybe we do need to think about, maybe there's something else that would fill up my heart. And maybe I could get a little bit more money with it, maybe a new sense of security. But this square is happening between the solid energies, the fixed signs, being in Leo and Taurus. So there can be this stubbornness, this fear, maybe even of journeying out of something that works or out of something that, quote unquote works because you've put so much energy into it. You've been sustaining it for so long. But one thing I like to talk about too in this is that the moon would have just had a conversation with Mercury. There's a trine that is happening here. That's when the planets are 120 degrees apart. They're in the same triplicity, so of earth elements that's happening here. And the trine that's Jupiter energy. That means movement, new beginnings that are going to be happening, opportunities for expansion. And with Mercury, also, look at this, there's another little heavy hitter here. Not only is in the sign that is not just domicile in, but it is at the same time exalted in. So Mercury is superior in Virgo. And in that, Mercury is how we think, how we perceive. This can be where you're coming up with some new ideas to switch up what you're doing. Virgo is very discerning. It's like, this isn't working, so how can I fix this? What are some ways that I can adjust this mutable earth energy? You got to kind of move things around some. But I feel there is and if you're not sure what to do, this could be maybe talking with someone about this. Because we've got all this Gemini energy here with Mars and Jupiter being in Gemini. Now they're coming in, on a conjunction here soon, but Mars just got out of a sextile, the sun just got out of a sextile with Mars not too long ago. And that could be where you felt a lot of energy going on. And this could be where if you're noticing something has been just not reflecting your values anymore, maybe you've been, again, Leo can be one that can play a part, just so that it can feel loved, that it can feel recognized and feel accepted. But Leo is a leader. Leo's not one that follows. Leo marches to the beat of its own drum. It has its own creative gifts and own things, natural tendencies or talents to shine. And so I feel that sextile out of this could be an opportunity to try something new, to give yourself a chance to focus on what isn't working, so you can make more space for things to just try something new, try something kind of expansive here. But let's see if there's anything else that I wanted to discuss about this. I do want to kind of discuss too, let's talk about Grandpa, speaking of Saturn, because this is going to be something that's going to be upcoming here soon. Jupiter and Saturn are going to be forming a square with one another. In squares, again, they can bring about this tension, and Saturn's one of the malefics. But, when you have a conversation between Jupiter and Saturn, I like this because Jupiter's already in detriment in Gemini. Jupiter, one of the signs that he's lords of is Sagittarius, which is the opposite side of Gemini. So now he's in an area where in Sagittarius, he knows it all. He just knows what to do. He's got this great wisdom. But now in Gemini, there's always something new to learn. There's always something there. And granted, in Sagittarius doesn't just settle on things. Sagittarius is always expanding too. But Gemini is focusing on the littler details and the micro stuff of this journey. And so can be a bit overwhelming for Jupiter. And so what I feel this square could bring in with Saturn is bringing in awareness that in Pisces, because Saturn's going to be applying the square to Jupiter too. They're meeting each other. And so kind of get that visual in your head that they're kind of moving towards each other, because Jupiter kind of he's not sure what to do in Gemini, just looking at where he's placed, it's just not the greatest place for him. He's really out of his element. So he could use that grounded awareness that Saturn is bringing to okay, hey, this is something, instead of learning all of the things, Gemini, let's learn, that's going to overwhelm your senses here. Let's focus on two things. Let's focus on two things that are going to complement one another. Gemini, that's a useful way of working with this. And then, you're coupling it with that Virgo energy. And so you may need to be patient in figuring this thing out, because just by whole sign here, Mercury and Saturn are in an opposition, and Mercury's going to get ready to go retrograde here soon. So I would say in just about a week. And so I would say if you're looking to do any sort of changes, do any sort of things, this could be the time to kind of focus on that, to kind of take those plans and figure out how you're going to piece that together. Mercury has come up with the clues in Virgo, and then in Leo, I feel think that's when stuff will start coming together, where you'll feel that courage to actually start implementing these things. And then you'll start to maybe even get some, just get this inspiration. I almost feel that could even kind of come with this as well. But the last kind of thing I wanted to talk about, and I'm going to talk about this in the void of course energy. So I think I'm going to go ahead and let me lower this a little bit and let's move over. Is that I wanted to talk about the energy of the moon squaring Venus. And so let's move to the void of course real quick. I'm going to jump around a little bit. Now, again, keep in mind, when I do the void of course, I'm doing it based off of the traditional planet. So it's going to be, the void of course times will be a lot longer. But I think that we really need to take that time for ourselves, to find in these periods of time, as opposed to these just days that are just a couple minutes here, maybe an hour there. What are you going to do with that? Merely take some time for yourself. So on the 28th of January, on the 28th of July, that'll be on a Sunday. At about 11:44 p.m., the moon will be going void of course, and she'll be void of course until Monday, Moon Day, the 29th, until about 2:27 p.m. So that's about a 14-hour, 43-minute void of course time there. And the void of course is where she does her final conversation with the celestial body, and then she just reflects on the energies that have happened during that time in Taurus. It's they called it back in the old days canadromy. I think I've mentioned that, but it's like roaming the void or roaming the emptiness. And I just like to think of it again as like as the memory is kind of forming together, but a great time for doing some meditation, really great time for wrapping up any sort of things. Again, maybe doing some housekeeping, maybe doing just some kind of, maybe tending to the garden. That is you when we're talking about in Taurus. But this would be, I feel, a great time too. Again, with even with the moon in Taurus, I find she's exalted there. One, because that is the place that's a lovely, one of the signs that Venus is lords over. But this gives her a space to create at her own pace. She's not rushed in Taurus. She has all the things that she needs. I how do I want to put this? I just feel like that you can really do a lot of maybe creative work that can go with Taurus. Taurus is a very, sign that can deal with, like, they're associated with the throat. So you notice Taurus literally have these lovely voices. So this could be time to create some music, maybe make some poetry, or if maybe do some creative writing if you've never done that before, whatever gets you in that state of flow. But I wanted to mention too with the void, of course, the aspect that forms, or that the last aspect that she forms usually flavors that void, of course, and it is a square with Venus that happens before she, while that's going to be coding this void, of course, energy. So I think this is a time to pay attention to what you feel you need to be secure. Really kind of evaluate that. Notice where there are some tensions and where we may need to take some actions. And this may even be where just seeing where you've been maybe a little maybe been feeling a little overloaded or a little overwhelmed here recently. You may have had like a really big boost with that Mars sextile in between Gemini and Leo. I'll tell you what, I was doing a workout the day that this was forming exact, and I had like just almost robotic energy. It was kind of wild. So, but maybe you've just been thinking a lot. Maybe there's been a lot of mental energy. That Saturn in Pisces has been maybe just been kind of stressing you out. Things have been kind of coming up into your awareness, things that you can't ignore, that you've been trying to move through. Some stuff's beginning, some stuff's, just Saturn doing Saturn things. But yeah, this just make sure to take to your needs and tend to your stuff during this time. And know that you're not alone in this, which is the beautiful thing about this message of this moon. One thing I wanted to talk about too is the Sabian symbol of the moon, of where the moon is at when this aspect is happening. And let me go ahead and get your tarot card here while I'm over here yakking. So the Sabian symbol for this is phase 36 of Taurus, which is a cantilever bridge across a deep gorge. That's it. Cantilever. Let's try to make that sentence less awkward. Thank you, Divine Self. A cantilever bridge across a deep gorge. That's better. And the keynote for this is the conquest of separativeness through group cooperation. And so when you picture that, just that imagery alone, a cantilever bridge, I'm picturing this really wide fissure in your pasture, where we were just in luscious fields, and now we've come across this very weird split in the earth. We don't know how it got there, but you need to get across it. And I feel like this really kind of brings together, we're all collectively, I feel like, at this kind of fissure right now, where we're needing to build this bridge to cross this gorge, but no one's really not sure how to take that first step. I feel like everyone thinks that they have to go on this thing by themselves, this big thing, and it's like, oh, is it going to make it? But I feel that there's this thing of reminding that we're not separate in this. Just as we all go through a Saturn return, if anything, there are a number of ways to see how we're all united. Astrology, like I was saying, we all go through a Saturn return. Every 30 years, we hit a Saturn square. And granted, the energies affect us on a separate level, of course, but we all go through it. Jupiter returns, Mars returns, you get solar returns, lunar returns, we get them. We all breathe the same air. We all come into this world, and we're all going to pass on from this world. So there's so many commonalities even in this, enough commonalities that I feel that if you think you're alone in this, I feel this moon can be where maybe being amongst a group that have that same sort of, that share those kind of values, that kind of get where you're coming from. Like, yeah, it can feel, maybe you're feeling a little stressed, and sometimes just knowing that you're not alone in this can feel very validating. I was just telling my partner the other day, Saturn's been working on his chart. It's got an opposition to Mercury right now. It's just really not in a good place mentally. It's just been feeling a lot. I'm like, listen, I would be more concerned if your chart and the astrology wasn't indicating this was happening right now. But if anything, let that be validating that you're going through this, and this is perfect. This feeling, even though it may not feel so great, is right on time. Because this is happening for you, not to you. And it can be hard to have that shift. But I do feel like it is remembering that we all are going through this. I'm going through, Saturn's working on my chart just like he's working on your chart. But it's the question is, I feel, do we want them to continue to work on us, or do we want these energies to work for us? And you don't have to feel like you have to do that all by yourself. There are groups, I feel, for that, and it may be something that's uncomfortable, that's square with Venus, but Venus is about that connection, is bringing more love into your life. It's attracting. You want to attract more high vibrations, more harmony, more peace. Then we have to go be around those energies. There's a certain initiative that happens here. Venus doesn't just always receive. There has to be an equilibrium that goes on there. So just some things I feel to think about with this. Yeah, I kind of danced around with this. I have a list of how I'd like to go down this, but I'm just like, meh, we're just going to go with the flow. So hopefully you followed that well. Now, one thing I'd like to talk about too is if you have your moon in Taurus. And like I was saying, if you do, the moon is exalted in Taurus. So that means she's celebrated in Taurus. Outside of, she's at home in Cancer, domicile in Cancer, but she can do very well here. The moon in Taurus, needs that sense of security, whether that be, just like on a more kind of personal level, being able to establish that inner sense of peace, but that could be, having where you have things that, not things for things' sake. I would say, like, if you're gonna, invest in your stuff. Make sure your stuff has a job, for example. We're not just gonna get any old couch. We're gonna get like that couch. Taurus is one, you got this Venusian energy. I feel this one, just it can be where it's comfortable. Make sure it's cozy. Make sure you love it. Make sure it feels good. The texture is what you want, because this is you're dropping on it. And I think that it is something too, looking at things as an investment. Moon in Taurus is about working on that, doing things that make you feel that you're worth it. And the stuff doesn't validate you. That's something to keep in mind. The things don't validate you, but they can help provide this sense of inner peace. You just want to feel cozy in what you're doing. The clothes that you're wearing, they don't got to be Gucci. They can be, I'll tell you what, there's this Taurus that I know, this Taurus sun, and has an amazing way of picking out this, I was trying on these one oh goodness, these like workout pants, and I was like, where did you get these from? They're just like from a Taurus. And it's just like, wow, all the stuff. And I was like, where did you get from? Target. And I was like, shut up. I thought it was like some sort of like name brand stuff. And it's like, nope, we got that at Walmart. I'm like, that's what's up. And that's what Taurus can do. You don't have to break the bank to feel lavish. Okay, let's get off that. But that's what I mean for the moon in Taurus. The moon, anything to get you feeling harmonious, to get you be mindful of. The moon in Taurus can kind of hold on to a lot, because the moon is very receptive in Taurus. So I would say just be mindful of giving as much as you're getting, just having that sense of that reciprocity that is there as well. But otherwise, yeah, the moon really just likes to feel secure. And look at the house too. That's going to show where the area that you're wanting to find this sense of peace in. So just one thing to think about. But again, that's just a really strong placement for the moon to be. She's functioning very well there. Even if she were to have some maybe tougher aspects that were going on, she still would be in a place, especially if Venus sees her, if Venus in the sign that where she knows that she needs the resources, this could be work very well for the moon. So just a little something to think about there. And if you're curious about how these energies work in your chart, you want to work with them a little bit more personally, see how these planets are maybe transiting or whatever this is looking like, seeing how Grandpa where he's working on your chart. Book a reading with me. I have a link down in the description box below to book a free consultation call with me to find out what you're wanting to work with, kind of see what would be an appropriate plan. Maybe we do just like a one-off reading. We can do based off whatever time frame you have. I like to do at least an hour and a half to get some rest so we can get some meat, really kind of get down. And that can be either live or it can be pre-recorded. So just something to keep in mind of as well. I know we have busy schedules. So if that's something that you're curious about, definitely check that link down in the description box below. Also, I'm figuring out what I'm doing with Instagram. I'm on LinkedIn. So there's that for it. I'm on Facebook too. So I'm pretty active on Facebook. I love Facebook Messenger. So, and I'll send you voice messages. So I love using Messenger on that. So that's something to think about. And then last little bit, these readings that I do, they're not gender-specific readings, so apply these energies to people as they make sense for your situations. But before we jump into this thing, I thought we'd bring in some nice vibes. And here's something I just been kind of recently starting here. So before we get into this thing, adjust your volume if you're listening to any kind of headphones or, stereos or phones or whatever you're doing. And let's get into this thing. Lovely. All right, let's see what we got here. Oh, how appropriate for Taurus. So you got the pause card here. And this is a card of respond versus react, observe thoughts, and mindfulness. And I like this. For these, I would say when you find it available, especially during that 14-hour void course time, if you can take a moment and pause to see where you may have been. Have you been reacting towards something, or have you been more responding to things? Where has your energy been of late? Is there normally a pause, or has it just been a lot of adrenaline? Have you still been maybe carrying a lot of that Aries energy moon over, and it just hasn't quite settled in yet? What is that maybe looking like for you? Maybe this Jupiter and Gemini is maybe doing some aspects in your chart, and it's bringing up a lot of, I'm picturing just a lot of nervous energy here. Observe where your thoughts are going during this time. Anything to find your ways to slow down. This could be through, if sitting down and doing meditation, just quiet is your thing. I recommend that. If you need to do a guided meditation, if you need to do meditation while movement, if you need to maybe do some working out, if you need to do some gardening, maybe some cooking, maybe some math, maybe some whatever, look to your moon placement. That's how you nurture yourself. I find, especially if you're going through some kind of any sort of Venus transits, those are times where I look at where can I bring some love into my life? Where can I bring some harmony? Can I go out and maybe go appreciate the art that is nature or the art of someone else? Maybe listen to some lovely music, possibly, but we are in a great time of mindfulness, especially as we close out this lunar cycle and get ready to start up in this Leo new moon cycle. This one I feel is going to be very active. We're going to have another very, very busy full moon. All of the planets are talking with one another. So when we have a very active sky, the chart is lit up. And this is a thing too, to pause and to realize and observe that everyone is lit up. When the energies are smooth, the energies are generally smooth for everybody. Of course, there are going to be some differences, depending on the things, but there are going to be other times where we're going to have to be, where it would benefit to be aware of where you're being reactive versus where you are responding to. If you're getting triggered by every little thing, that's going to wear your energies out very fast. Mars is moving very fast right now in Gemini, and with Mercury getting ready to go retrograde next week, I would think that, especially if you can take this time, and I know that may be hard with everything that's going on, but just taking a bit more time to to zoom into you, to get grounded in your energy, that's something that could even be very beneficial. Just getting outside, take your shoes and socks off, getting grounded in some earth, just sitting out and doing, just kind of just taking it in a little bit. Even if you're just like, if you're not just standing there breathing, maybe you're just going to walk around the grass or something like that, or anything along those lines. Any sort of excuse to get Taurus, get outside, to get something to stimulate your senses, to remind you that everything is safe, that you're okay in your body, and that we can go forward with this. But let me get some tarot and see what's going on. Think to myself, let's see what's going on here. Got a lot of heat. a lot of heat with this Gabriel. You got the 2 of Gabriel. That's Aries' hottest card. That's Mars and Aries. 7 of Gabriel. That is, I think that's another Martian card. I think that's Mars. Yep, that's Mars and Leo. And then you got the Ace of Gabriel here. And then we have the Page of Michael. Start this 2 of Gabriel. Make bold and ambitious choices. Great progress is possible. Important relationships with people who share your vision. And we were talking about that with Taurus. If you're in a situation where if you're not with people that share your vision, that have been kind of draining your energy, maybe the group has been just very responsive and you've just not been on the same thing. You've been absorbing or observing the thoughts that have been going on around you. The third quarter phase, you're seeing things from you're seeing both the light and the dark of things right now. Things are very split down the middle. This is really a great time to clean out emotional clutter, any sort of like physical clutter, and just reflect on where am I going from here? Where I got a new patch of land that I'm getting ready to tend to here when we get to this new moon in Leo. What have I learned from this Cancer moon in making more ambitious choices? Maybe you're like, I'm going to maybe stop following said group, or maybe I am going to look for a different job, or maybe I'm just going to bring more fun into this thing, or whatever this energy is. But the 7 of Gabriel is stand up for what you believe in, have confidence, claim your personal power. And so maybe people are criticizing the stuff that you're doing. Maybe you're making some moves and it's just like it's not being, people are being reactive to it. And I think it's just being mindful of that. They may not know what's going on with them, and maybe seeing that you have it together makes them feel threatened. And it's not your job to help them, make them feel secure in this. But I would say that you can stay in your personal power and not engage. It's just like, well, yeah, this is just what I'm going to be doing. I know that this is, however this may be translating for you. But have confidence, I feel, and maybe even something here too. Maybe you're getting ready to make some bold moves, and maybe this is something that before you pause. Maybe if this is not going to be received well, maybe we kind of hold off on telling people what's going on. And just Page of Michael here. Truthful, perceptive, analytical, blunt, an exciting new challenge. You have what it takes to succeed. Review contacts or documents very thoroughly. I feel like this is like I'm saying, make sure you have things in order before you get stuff moving, because sometimes when we announce things too prematurely, and I don't think this is necessarily people's intentions, but if there isn't that initial support, that can damper your enthusiasm too. And Jupiter's having a hard time dishing out enthusiasm right now. He's got a lot that he's juggling right now. He's finding new ways to tap into that enthusiastic side of him. So then this is an exciting new challenge. This is something where, and be mindful, with this, that not everyone's going to receive this truth well. I feel like it is just, with this Mercury having just freshly entered into Virgo, you're going to have to discern, I feel like, who's going to stay, who's going to go. And this may feel, I don't necessarily think it feels a little cold, maybe, but the Saturn in Pisces is what that's calling for. It's like, this is awareness. This isn't just going to be good for you. It's going to be good for me as well. Ace of Gabriel, a gift of passion, opportunity, and inspiration. The chance to do something amazing. A sense of wonder. And so hold that feeling, I feel, with Taurus. Taurus is like the thing too with Taurus. Taurus is very similar to Cancer in how the way that they can feel. Taurus is more sensorial when we're talking about those feelings, a very sensual sign. But there is this still that sense of when we're talking that feeling, there's that sixth sense that comes with Taurus. When you're in tune with the earth like that, you're tuned to you're tuned to Gaia. So there is a very spiritual aspect of Taurus. And I do feel that there is something here to hold. If you got something that is inspire you, pause and being in that sense of wonder. And this may be something where, the Two of Swords, it's usually like this, you're at like a crossroads here. Do I stay? Do I go? What do I do? And the energy, I feel Ace of Gabriel, she's supporting that. The Ace of Gabriel, I want to say this is the Empress. This is Empress energy that she's representing. The Archangel Gabriel, she's the Empress in this deck. But there's a chance to do some amazing stuff, And one thing I want to kind of talk about too, that with everything that is going on, pause. Take what is true for you. There's a lot of, I feel like, again, energies that are not being focused in. And I think and this is just my thoughts. I feel like it's important that we just be mindful of the hype. When there are things that are going on, we want to make sure that we're feeling secure, that we're feeling safe and stuff, but to be mindful of operating from a place of fear as opposed to security. I feel that's going to be something very important because fear, I feel like it limits your opportunities, but when we come from a grounded sense, pause and not react to everything that's trying to pluck at the energies, then it's like, okay, now I can come from a more informed place, from an internal place here. So that's just something I feel like to just be mindful of too. Let's get some more on this. Let's see what else is happening. Ooh, look at all these majors. Man. All right. So let's get down to business. You have the Three of Ariel here, the Peace card, which is the Death card, Archangel Azrael, the Solutions card, which is the Temperance card, Sagittarius. Oh, and they're all in order. Got 13, 14, 15 here. Then the Decision card, which is the Devil, Capricorn. And then our lovely, lovely Lord here, the High Priestess, the Moon energy. Let's start with the Moon. The High Priestess. The High Priestess is powerful psychic insights, reflection, and meditation that provides valuable information. Be at peace. Pause there, Cancer, and be at peace. Trust your intuition. Trust what is true for you. Use your discernment. You have it. You know when something isn't right for you. You know what I mean? I feel like that there's this. When the moon's in Aries, that's remembering that, that we have this sense of power. The moon's in Taurus, it's sustaining that sense of power that, yes, I can trust my intuition. I have powerful insights. And when I'm not sure what to do, I can sit with myself. I can go to that place and find peace. And so I can process what changes are going through, what things are maybe dying off here, the Death card, and what's going through a metamorphosis, so that I can let go and let God. Archangel Azrael, he's coming in, talking about release the past. There's a more enriching future coming. Let go and let God. And that's exactly, I feel that we are changing. I know someone was just talking about we're living in unprecedented times, and I was like, duh, we're always living in unprecedented times, because this world has all this. Each moment that I'm speaking is unprecedented, and so we got to release the past. There are new things coming. Not forget it. Not forget the foundation. Remember where you've come from, and that you do have further places to go, that you are growing in this journey, and remember that foundation of the work that you've put in. The Three of Ariel, do what you love, a time of great personal growth in your career or artistic endeavors. I'm saying a growth in your career and artistic endeavors, working with others in a cooperative manner. And so this could be shifting that change where, you know, maybe we're releasing past groups, past relationships, past thoughts that we used to hold on to, and now we're incorporating a bit more love into what we're doing. We're working with others maybe in a more cooperative manner, looking at it from a place of, yeah, we are kind of all, we are going through the same thing. How are you going through this Mercury retrograde? What do you feel this energy means? You know, how is that going on? But this decision card here, the Devil, Archangel Jophiel, release yourself from that which holds you back. A need to detox, unnecessary worry based on on a lack of self-confidence. And so I'm getting an energy of, man, of like mad self-respect. You know, respect your energies, and I feel that any source that is coming at you from a place of that is lowering your vibration, that's trying to, you know, get this fear mongering, I feel there may be a time to detox from that. You know, again, to see where we've been. We're in Taurus energy. We're being very patient with this stuff. I feel like this is not something to, you know, get you riled up. It's to get you, if we're getting riled up to relax. I'm like, man, I'm getting so pumped. When I get back, I'm about to do this, I'm about to do that. But I do think that there is a need to, with all the, you know, with the kind of heavy Jupiter and Gemini, Mars and Gemini right now, I think there is a need to see where things have become a bit much, where we can find a bit more balance, so that we can find more solutions. With the Temperance card here, Archangel Zadkiel, success that comes from objective compromise, self-control and patience, forgiving and healing energy. And I like that objective energy. You know, when we're in, I'm thinking even in like in Taurus, in Aries, you know, the energy is a bit more subjective. You know, it's a bit more just kind of thinking about my values, is thinking about what I want, what I need. But I do feel that sometimes if we're feeling in a state of doubt, like we don't know what we want, or like we feel that I'm not quite sure, like whatever this thing is that we're maybe surrendering to the devil here, this thing that this I feel that this could be where talking with someone can maybe help. Again, kind of coupling with that 3 of Ariel can help you maybe get out of a place where if you've been reactive. This could be honestly even just talking with your guides, even just how this, because again, you don't necessarily need anyone to help, but we're not in this journey alone. Your guides can help you get in the mindset that you need to make the connections with people that'll help you lift yourself up, them lift you, you know, you lift them up. You know, there's going to be this sort of this group sense of, you know, we're building that cantilever bridge. We're going on across this fissure, that land mass together. And sure, we may not know what's going on underneath, but it's not about looking down, it's about looking forward. You know, I feel like there's something very powerful with that too. You know, just let that be in mind. You know, keep an eyes on the prize. You know, this is the energies aren't trying to keep you down. They're trying to keep you moving. You know, and at we're in Taurus. We're not running. We're not running. We can do that in Gemini. You know, when we got more heavy Gemini energy, and even then, Mercury's slowing down. Mercury's not going that fast. Mercury is in Virgo, so it's very discerning, and it's gonna really glide. And if you got those degrees, that kind of early degrees of Virgo, or even of the mutable signs, Gemini, Pisces, Sagittarius, that's going to be something. Pay attention to those points. That Mercury's really kind of heavy, landing heavy on those. So yeah, a lot I feel like to think about with this, and take the time that you need to do it, because decisions are needing to be made, and we want to make it from a place of empowerment. With that devil card, that decision card there. But let's get some advice from Venus. All right. Let's see what's going on here. All right, so you have the Birth Mysteries card here. And this is a card of what are you being called to create? Ooh, I love that. And let's switch back over. Because that's what you know, that's what I was trying to think when I was picturing that kind of moon in Taurus energy. When the moon's in Cancer, she's able to go within, she's able to tap into, she's able to feel her emotions. She's very aware of her emotions, how they move. And there's this rich imagination that comes when the moon's in Cancer, you know, and that she can call upon. And I feel when she's in Taurus, that allows her to bring it outside of herself in a loving way at her own pace. You know, it's her baby. You know, she's this you can't rush a baby's growth. You can't rush anything's growing, especially, you know, thinking about Taurus tending to plants. You can yell whatever you want, all you want, but it's still going to grow how it's going to grow. So it's like, while we're being patient with this energy, what are you being called to create? And I feel like pause and listen to that. Is what I'm doing, and whatever that means, you know, is what I'm doing, is that helping me further my creation, further this creation that is me, that is manifested from the heavens to this place. You know, have I been working with this instrument like I want to? You know, is there more that I want to feel, that I want to express, that I want to ground, that I want to grow? Yeah, that decision card. I feel like this is taking a time to, what I'm just thinking, that need to detox. This could be like a literal detox, you know. And then, you know, this, I don't think it has to be anything aggressive. I find maybe even working with just like some chamomile, maybe just to kind of help calm the nerves down a little. Not medical advice, but I don't know, just something about that detox. Maybe we're detoxing a little bit from like technology a little bit, just getting a little bit more space. You know, maybe we're getting detox, or maybe detoxing from inside and getting more outside time. But yeah, there's something here that's, I feel that it's like detoxing can help you get down to the roots of you and find out just where you're going from here. That's yeah, hopefully that makes sense. But I think I'm gonna leave that there. So if you like that, if anything resonated with you, give it a thumbs up and share this if you know someone who might get some nuggets of wisdom from this. Absolutely. And subscribe there, you high priestess. Hit that bell button to get notified on all these videos each day. And last little bit, if you want to know about what the other planets are talking about on my other channel, again, I talk about the outer planets there too. And if you want to, you see the chit chat that's going on with these celestial bodies, come on up to the other channel, Alchemist 8. I do those videos weekly there on Mercury days, that's Wednesdays. And I also do videos there that are talking about different planetary placements. So like one right now I'm getting ready to do, so I talk about the moon in Virgo in the 5th house. And so I just talk about what those placements can be, what are some things that may come up with that, or that could come up, or some things to explore with that energy. But the point is not just to just talk about, just have more information at you, but it's meant to be something for you to interact with. To maybe you have this placement, and how has that been working in your chart? Maybe you have Saturn talking with it, or maybe the moon's talking with it, or like just kind of seeing how this has been operating in your world, and how, and maybe you can help other people who may have similar placements, or whoever this three Ariel, just making this a collaborative thing. So. And I would like that if, hopefully if a video gets enough traction, maybe I'll make a part 2. But ultimately what I would love to do is make a live. And I will be doing a live here soon. I'm going to put a poll out if you want to see whether I think I want to do either like a poll of the just a general energy to say, I guess that's a thumbs up. Maybe we'll do something about just a general energy, do like a tarot reading there, just a general poll. or I either want to do like a sample solar return chart. I already know someone who's kind of volunteered their stuff for me to do for theirs, or even do like a lunar return chart. So just to kind of see what you would look for when you're looking over those things, just little things to try to give you more information and hopefully useful tools for you when you're kind of navigating through these energies. And all that housekeeping is down in the description box below. But let me get your Angel Oracle card here. Now these are angel cards that have different phrases on them for support. They are supported by different celestial bodies. They have different times of the day that, you know, or maybe a time frame to work with, or time to look forward to, or maybe to even reflect back on. Some crystals that may be an energy to, if you have that crystal, maybe you're working with that more intentionally, or looking into what the energies and body of that crystal to bring more of those energies into your life. So let's see what you got here. Oh, look at this. I love it. So you have I think we have him here too. Maybe. Nope, just kidding. Well, we have Archangel Raziel here, and the reason I freaked out because he's represented by the Sun and Leo. So how appropriate that he comes out after the Sun's entering in Leo. Look at the High Priestess energy. Be in your power. Be in your power. And look at Raziel. He's the angel of magic and mysteries. More High Priestess energy. I love it. But this is card of, oh, I like this. Behind the veil, mediumship, divine wisdom, illumination, dreams, visions, and dive deep. Wow. So when you think about the Sun and Leo, that's that soul energy with the Sun. You know, when I think about Leo, it's not just about them just being creative. Leo is that energy of your kind of like that natural intelligence, you know, that sort of that thing that you're just someone who just is a great storyteller, someone who just knows how to light up a room, someone who is a great singer, who's a great this, who's great that, just whatever that natural gift, great in math, great in science, great in music, great at mediumship, divination, you know, dream work. But there's something here about tapping into these innate gifts. Taking a journey behind the veil, I'm getting even the imagery. There's the beautiful thing when you have, like, let's say like with Venus and Mercury, for example, when they go through their conjunctions with the Sun, and any planet that goes through the conjunction with the Sun, there's this period of time when it's within like 15 degrees, they're under the beams of the Sun, where the energies are starting to get weakened. They're getting closer and closer. I just picture it as old things are starting to burn away as they're getting closer to the heart of the Sun. And then when they get in within a certain degrees, by, I think it's Hellenistic, I want to say is within a degree. Medieval, I want to say it's within 17 minutes. They call it the Kazemi. You may have heard about that before. And it's just it's just a specific type of conjunction. You know, it's all conjunct, you know, when we're talking about that, you know, especially when you're getting within that degree. It's all conjunction. But it's just a specific type when they're in that degree. And there's in that period of time when you're in the heart of the Sun, that's when you're in the chambers of the Sun. You go to the underworld in a sense, and there's this death card energy that's happening. You're releasing the past because there is a more enriching future. That's where there's a sexual energy that comes into it, but it's the energy of creation. You know, it's not meant, it's different than how sex is used now. But it's more so this, what are you being called to create here? There's this vision that is High Priestess that is coming through here. We all have this innate divine connection to this energy. Mercury is tied to a lot of illusions, or not a lot of illusions, tied to that initiation of, or to initiates of like divination and the occult. And so with Mercury going retrograde, dive into that divine wisdom that you have. Maybe this could be working with an astrologer, working with someone who can do like Akashic records, maybe someone who does like past life readings, maybe a mediumship, maybe getting a tarot card reading, whatever this could doing a tarot card. Tap into your gifts. This could be something that you can do. Maybe you're doing some scrying, possibly. Maybe you're one that can really connect with nature. Maybe you connect with animals on a deep way. Whatever this is, but this is a time to shine. The sun is in Leo. That's like Lionsgate energy. What is it, the 8th of August? Like it's, and I want to say that, there's a lot that's coming through with this. I'm even thinking about the degrees in like the Thermomundi. That's like the original, like what they say the start of the universe was. And all the fixed signs, the 15 degrees of the fixed sign is said to be really potent energy point. That's even something that's coming up to mind here. So, now, what Raziel does is I enhance your spiritual gifts, infuse your heart. We talk about going into the heart. I infuse your heart with inner knowing and reveal the secrets of Source. Love it. I love this too. Hold on. Now, I basically just said all of that. He's revealing, that's what just happens when you go into the sun. You're finding this, you're meeting with your soul. When the sun is forming conjunctions with your planets, pay attention to that. Let that be a intentional time. The sun is about to come up on my Mercury placement. He's been coming up on it for a while. And I do feel my mind, it's expanding. New things are coming in. Like I'm getting new ideas. Stuff's happening, and pay attention to that. It's a magnificent thing when you're just kind of just in sync with your energies. I'm even talking beyond astrology. Just whatever you do to get you in a flow, that gets you in those dreams, music, whatever, cloud gazing. I mean, maybe you painted, maybe you notice a sign in the birds, maybe they're whatever. Now, some crystal. I love this. We got a little crystal. Well, now we got a pretty neat side crystal ball here. So crystal to work with is clear quartz, especially. I think that's one is associated with Mercury, if I'm not mistaken. And clear quartz can really help keep the mind clear, help you from kind of work through the noise, to keep just a clear head of what's going on here. Now, the time frame he talks about is 1 week, and we were some auspicious things happening here. Mercury's going to be going retrograde in 1 week. So, and some things to think about, many options. And absolutely, there are many options of how to handle this energy right now. That's something to keep in mind. You have options. There's always some way for you to do something, and know that the energies are working for you. Feel secure in your gifts, and invest in that. Invest in you, with this moon in Taurus. Invest in you. Come from a clear place. Take a moment and pause before we're doing stuff. And yeah, I think that's what I got for you there. This is very cool. So be mindful out there. Take a moment and pause. Respond versus react. Observe your thoughts that are coming through. Again, that clear quartz, thoughts become things. You hold it in your head, you can hold it in your hand. So just something to be mindful of. Raise that vibration. Keep eyes on that moon. And I will catch you on the next one. Moon Day.